Hello, Internet. Port color on USB ports. Yeah, if that actually applies. Some manufacturers don't care about the color of the ports, and they will just wire them up as it is during the manufacture process. Now, yes, I did read about the article. I did read about that. I've known about that for a while. However, not all is what it seems on every single computer. On desktops, you would expect that those ports be proper, to reflect the actual speeds they're supposed to be delivering. Blue, 3.0. Yellow, 3.0. Red, 10 to 20 gigabits. Black, 2.0. White, 1.0, or the slowest. However, some of them aren't wired at all like that. I came across machines that had blue ports, and they were all wired just for 2.0. There was no way around it. That's just what it was. A benchmark test on a USB SSD actually confirmed that. And, yep, on some desktops, it's just that way too. They can label them whatever they want, but if they're not going to be delivering 3.0 speeds based on the color, in which the article can be a little bit misinforming, that's a disappointment. And yes, they're all backwards compatible, but still it can be a disappointment when you realize it. So, any fast SSD such as this can do USB 3.0. And I have 3.0 ports on this machine. However, some of them don't behave like 3.0 ports. So, that's one or two of them. They only deliver max 2.0, despite being blue. Now, if you check the ports on laptops to do a benchmark test, outside of Windows, with a USB Linux distribution, you can just do that with a live USB, and it tops it at 480, there you go. That's how you can confirm. It doesn't matter if it's Type C or standard Type A. If the speeds do not match those ports, then at least you know. Yes, the cache on the SSD can show you literally the top maximum speed until you exceed it, but that's one way to verify. So, you shouldn't take the colors to be at face value unless you do a fucking benchmark test on the port itself. That's the only way you're going to do it. That's the only way you're going to find out if it's actually done properly. If it's actually been soldered on properly. And, everything else is wired correctly. All the pins match and all. If they don't match, or if they're not wired properly, and yes, it's difficult to check this by looking at it, and you'd have to literally remove the shielding on a desktop to see if that's done properly, in which nobody wants to do because it could damage a motherboard if you do it the wrong way. And you don't want to break soldering on something that, if especially the shielding is soldered, you got a bit of a mess to clean up. I'm not saying you should do that, but not all the colors respect the actual speeds. That's what I'm trying to get at. And I've encountered that plenty of times. Even the cables, they don't necessarily match the proper speeds. It could be a cheap 2.0 cable, labeled as blue, orange, or red, or yellow. Same thing. I have plenty of those. And they're not 3.0 speeds. So, what can you do? Really nothing. Look at the cable. Do a benchmark test with an SSD. Either it uses the double pronged micro type, which I've seen. That's standard for 2.0 or 3.0 drives, such as this. And there's also the Type C ones, which simplifies it. So, yeah, a benchmark test will verify that it's actually a 3.0 port or plug. Because the color does not always determine that. Sometimes anyway. Okay. Yeah, I know this goes against the article and all that. But you gotta figure shit out for yourself. You have to check shit out for yourself. Just to make sure it actually is what it is. Before you go out and purchase that machine or the cable. Blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm talking about. So, Use that knowledge wisely. While the article does highlight the corresponding colors and speeds associated with them, what the manufacturer decides to do when they build something, they can completely disregard that and throw everything off or out the window. Okay, that's about all. Thanks for watching.